Hey y'all. Um Gonna get rid of the music. Um but today we're vibe coding WeWrite again. So let's get right into it. Hey y'all. Let me mute that. All right. How's everybody doing? It is a chilly Sunday here in the city in New York, but we are surviving. It's all good. So I was working on a bunch of features this morning, and I kind of was like, "Oh, well, I'm really cooking. I should stream today." So, little kind of update on the vibe coding approach. Previously, I was using Augment, which was really good because it has like a really big context window. But I think it just got so cooked and it just got really slow. Despite the fact that I'm now paying for a subscription for it, which I need to cancel, it is unusable. So I am now using Cursor again. But good news is GPT 4.1 is out in a preview state. So I've tried that and it's actually doing a lot of really good work. So let me just show you what we've got in the in this upcoming dev branch. So you'll notice we've got trending pages now. That's kind of cool. It shows you which pages have had the most views in the past 24 hours. Which I'm not really sure if that is accurate. So I'm going to say, let's validate the accuracy of the trending pages and their view counts. But it's a cool feature. And now we're also showing these subscription icons. So if you click on a user, it says no subscription. And if you click that, it says, all right, this user doesn't have a subscription. And it explains what that is. So right now, subscriptions only go to support development, but in the future, readers will be able to use their subscription to donate directly to writers. And then obviously like some percentage of that goes to WeWrite, but for the most part, we want to be encouraging kind of an ecosystem where we're rewarding people who have good thoughts and interesting things to write. So that's what we've got here. One thing I noticed from a visual perspective is these icons they don't look good in every environment. So let's say subscription icon should match the color of its nearby username text. For example, when the username is in a pill link, the text is white. The subscription icon should also be white. Another example is if the username is blue, or is username text is accent color, the subscription should also be that. And I do think it's good that we show everybody we basically expose publicly what your subscription amount is, because, I mean, obviously if it's above 50, you'll be tier 3. So if you're spending $1 million a month, we're not going to expose that. We're not going to say, oh, this person is spending, $2,000 a month. But we will say they maxed out at tier 3. And I think it's good. It kind of gamifies, like, if you want to see this platform succeed, you should be donating for right now. But in the future, this basically means how much is this person donating to other writers? And that is huge. Like, you should, because what's the point of spending $2,000 on a WeWrite subscription unless you're donating it to writers, right? Like, it's pointless. Like, you could, that'd be nice, but you're not getting any use out of it. And I don't think we're going to be payment gating any features or anything either. Let me see. How do I monitor chat? Just normally. I still don't understand streaming. What's up, chat? Another thing is that when you log out, we have a new landing page that I've been vibe coding to get away from the Framer landing page. So this is what it looks like. You can scrub through the images. We've got the trending pages. We've got various different cards. This is interesting. It hallucinated a reading theme. But I think we should add a reading theme. Holy shit, it's everywhere, dude. Look at all this. I hope it's not stuck in this reading mode. I also added an automatic CAPTCHA. Yeah, it is stuck in the reading mode. How do I fix that? But you can tell it's very thorough. Like, it still messes up, but it's pretty thorough. It's like, this reading mode would have taken me ages to make custom, but now I have to get rid of it. So yeah, how do I even reset? Okay. Another thing we should send in this next batch is on the landing page, all sections should have the same maximum width. Right now, the trending pages section goes full width, which looks bad. And then the other sections, like when I zoom all the way out, so our supporters and about WeWrite, our supporters, about WeWrite, and themes are too small, and they should conform. They should be as wide as the coming soon and available features sections. Okay. So yeah, like I said, GPT 4.1 has been pretty good. It doesn't seem like it's as thorough. Like, it needs me to hold its hand a lot, like in terms of trying to find things for it. But it's also been good. The more I look for things for it, the more I realize we have a bunch of duplicated code that I have to delete. So I just tell it to delete it. And the thing that is blocking this release is still payments. But now that I have the new, like, temporary subscription idea going on, it'll be easier to get payments out. So I don't recall if this was the plan last I went live, but basically, like, it's a lot of complexity to set up the payouts system where people are donating to writers. And that's the long-term vision, obviously, because we want to support writers. But for right now, we're going to move away from the Open Collective, which some people are already donating on. But the Open Collective right now, it's just too many steps away, and it's not made visible. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So if I go to somebody's page and I click on a page and I try to use the pledge bar, it says this feature is coming soon, please support us, and then it goes to Open Collective. So what I'm thinking is we're going to wrap this feature into being built in WeWrite. We're also going to surface everybody's subscription amounts in an obfuscated way. We're only going to show up to $50 a month. We're not going to show anything else. But hopefully this can encourage people to become supporters, and just by knowing that it's public information. So this is what it looks like when I click on somebody. It says no subscription. But when I click on somebody's page and I try to donate to the page, this needs to be improved, and the copy is bad. Basically what it's going to say is, I need to think about what it should say, but basically this will be how you select your subscription so that you can start donating to people in the future. So yeah, I'm trying to think about the copy that should go here. But these should be larger, and once you make a selection, the select button should be enabled. I think the subscription page, okay, so I thought the subscription page was still broken, but basically it should kind of look like this. We desperately need to fix these layouts. All right, so let's see what changes were made over here. Okay, so no, handle close is not defined. Okay, so error when clicking on, I think that happened when I was clicking on a link in the edit mode. Yes. Error when clicking on a link in edit mode. I sent it before I appended the error. No, okay, I'm gonna pause this. I'm gonna say getting this error when clicking on a link in edit mode. Okay. What I was previously working on in here was you should be able to append the username behind a link that you add. So I've been adding a lot of other people's pages to my pages, but it kind of at first glance it looks like those are all my pages, which is fine because I'm not getting credit for it or anything, but I do kind of want to surface that it's not mine. I kind of want it to be oh, I'm actually composing from a bunch of other people's pages. So that was the feature that I'm debugging right here. Let's see what happens if I go to reactivate the subscription. Ideally, it should trigger in this dev sandbox. Okay, so it says user is not defined. So I'm going to say And, you know, ideally from that other screen, it should actually not even take you to the subscriptions management page. You should still have that in your settings if you want, but ideally we just handle that payment as quickly as possible. So when I visit a page, I click this, I make a decision, it's active, and I think we renamed this. This is a it's like the activate subscription modal, subscription activation modal, maybe. Let's see. Subscription activation modal. Yeah. Okay, so let's write all of this up. Let's say subscription activation modal. But also, in the meantime, y'all should start writing. I'm going to put this in the chat. Start writing pages and make a page called feedback and ask for what you want me to make. Somebody asked for LaTeX support, like the math language. So I was like, you got to write that on a page. But yeah, this few recent feedback pages from Timmy Talks and from Franz. So yeah, he wants to see LaTeX support, subscript and exponents. And the reason I might not do this, I already told him, but I told him to write it because ideally people would donate to the good ideas if they agree with it. But the reason I gave for like not wanting to do this is standardization. So like to standardize how words appear is to unleash their flow and circulation. So, you know, speaking volume, not everybody is giving like big, powerful speeches. And this is the reason I don't want to have like bold and italics is why should you be able to bold your whole page? So it's a different use case. I'm like really trying to make it such that like words are the important thing and not anything else, you know. Like a math formula is honestly like a type of picture in a way. So is a table. Any data viz is kind of getting into the realm of images. So maybe I should also something about images here. Because you really can't standardize images. It's the Wild West. You can do anything with any pixel, basically infinite permutations. But with letters, it's very... I want to limit the amount of creativity such that we can all start using our words again. Start getting on the same page. Philosophy moment. Subscription activation modal. Okay, so let's finish what we were doing. So subscription activation modal. Remove dismiss button from the bottom, since the user can click the X button, and I presume they can also click outside of it to exit it. Yep. Make the tier cards taller. Move the symbols, stars, and stars. Move the stars to the top of each card. Make the CTA button say activate subscription, and it should be disabled until the user selects one of the cards. To select the tier 3 custom card, should open a custom input number input modal defaulted to 50 with plus and minus buttons to change by 10 increments. Do not allow numbers below 50. Show. I don't know if we should show an error. Let's just play around with how that works. Okay, so select. Okay. Dope. I guess I should have looked at the work that was previously done first. So, user not defined, blah, blah, blah. How do we fix? Example fix. So this sounds undone. If I want, I can show you exactly where to add this to your code before calling. Okay. All right, we can get back to this once it's done. Before calling the API, check if user is defined. I want to be able to handle all of these in parallel in a smart way. Like if I could go back to a specific one, which maybe I can. Maybe if I create a new chat for every feature. Is that what people do? No. So it says it'll end this current session, and I don't want that. I want a bunch of parallel work streams. Okay. I guess I need to be putting on my PM hat. Let's see. Is anybody hanging out? Nope. I gotta figure out how to make vibe coding more fun for people to watch. Maybe this is just not the type of content people want, which is fine. That's life. These sections are styled differently, which is bothersome. Should we make sections customizable, like you could rearrange them if you wanted? Because I thought about that. I was like, okay, well, maybe we should do that. Let's test everything. Log back out. Okay, so on the landing page, image carousel and lightbox, animate switching between images with correct directionality, i.e. if I am on image 2 and I click left button, or I click the first image, it should slide over from the left to the right. What else? There's like a weird stroke around these images. I don't like that. And then this image like literally has like some cropping stuff going on with it. Maybe I should also be able to 2-finger swipe. Yeah, but that collides with the back functionality. And I don't know if we sent this, so I'm going to add it here. I mean, clearly it didn't do it if it did send. Okay, so as requested, subscription activation. Let me know if you want to connect the activation logic. Yes, we can connect the activation logic later. Okay. So this captcha just kind of like guesses if I'm a human. You can see it down in the bottom right. I just want to prevent bots, you know. Okay, so what are we testing again? So we have to go to one of my pages and then edit and then click. Wait, that's not what we're testing, but that is still broken. What we are testing is, well, we got to be on somebody else's page, I think. So if I click on it and then I click this. Okay, cool. Yay! That looks decent. Let's test on mobile. Doesn't look super good, but and then activate subscription. Where does that go? So yeah, clicking activate subscription should go to Stripe to activate. Yeah, and I just like repeat myself a lot to the AI to make sure that it's like doing what it needs to. Okay. Yeah, all of our type ahead searches are not working, so I'm gonna work on that next, but none of our type ahead searches are working. Let's fix. They're working in production, but they also broke in the Vercel deployment. And I really hope it's not like an environment variables thing, because that is so annoying. Okay, so it said context variable name if you want error loading handling. Bro, to send the user to, you should. Okay, so it's suggesting I use the Stripe, I embed the Stripe elements on my site. which is better for like controlling the UX, but it's sounds like it's going to be more work. Why does it suggest things? It's in agent mode. It should do the things. Let's try to import use search result by score, which is what's up, industrial complex? Okay. Use client directive. If you still see issues, keeps telling me to restart my dev server, and I'm like, I don't think that's the problem. Usually never that's the problem. Let's finish the activate subscription flows, because last we left off, you only had suggestions. Please implement them. Okay, custom amount, that works. Those do not look like shadcn buttons. All right, so on our modals, please use shadcn outline buttons for the X button. Right now, upon click, it flickers blue, which indicates that it's the wrong button. Please find the wrong that button and delete its original if this is a duplicate button that isn't our shadcn button, please delete it from the code base. Okay, so it's the activate. Okay, the activate flow is fully implemented, it says. I doubt it's fully implemented, but I appreciate the optimism. Okay, so let's do tier 1. No such customer. Okay, so no such customer. Let's give that. So no such customer error. Let's ensure that all of our users map to a customer. Okay. Another little tweak that I made was if you click, I should figure out how to make this a little bit more obvious. I think this whole section should be dark, and then the more button should be white, but clicking more drags you down to the bottom. So the goal with this is like on a short page, the like content was already like way up on the short page. Here, let me find an example. So like previously on a short page like this, all of these elements were right here, and it kind of made the reading experience bad. So now it's like, okay, well, you get to see the text first, and then you see more down here, and you can scroll down. But yeah, like I said, I need to maybe we'll whip up this in Figma to change how that looks. So, whoa. So I think it should look something like this, where like this is gradient. This is black. This is low opacity black. Right. And then we can subtract this section from it. There we go. And then it would say more in white. Let's grab a chevron down. I tried prompting this, but it just was not, it was too confusing for it. So we're just going to design it. Okay. So let's delete this fill from here. Okay. How do I make this bottom align within a subtract? I don't know how to do this, so what I'm gonna do is, all right, I'm just gonna take a screenshot of it. I'm gonna take this screenshot and then I'm just gonna put it on top. The problem I just ran into was that you can't apply any constraints to elements within a Boolean operation. So like a subtract, I can't say, oh, this should be bottom aligned or whatever. So, all right, now we can adjust this however we want, which is better. And let's take this and make it a little less aggressive, maybe 40%. Honestly, and actually, let's just remove all the background stuff too. That way we can move these around independently. So then we can align those. And let's group all of these together to get rid of that. Okay. Maybe what we do is this can actually be 2 rectangles. One is the maximum, which I think is 40%. Yep. So this will be black at 40, and then we combine the two with the auto layout, then we move them back. I guess it's not in the group. Okay, so now we move it back. Okay. And I'm not really worried about those corners or making it perfect. But, so what I'm... Okay, so it needs to be bottom aligned. That's still not doing what I want it to. Dude. Why is it doing that? Okay, so I guess if we turn this into a frame, and then we say to this, bottom aligned, and then, okay, that's what I'm looking for. So now we can minimize this a little bit, and then we can take, let's also move this down. We could even apply like a whole, its own independent shadows. Clip content, do not clip. Okay. %40. 40%. Something ain't right about it. I think maybe 40 is just too aggressive, but then the more button is going to need to be black. Something still is bad. Let's make a version of this. I don't know what's actually going on. So maybe instead of the background stuff, we just use the shadow, but we make it like really, really aggressive, like 200, and then 100%, maybe even like 500. And then we move this down to negative 200. Whoa, actually positive 200. 100. I mean, we could combine shadows too. So we have like one that's close by, the other is more. Still not sure if I'm liking that either. Maybe it does just have to be, all these elements have to be black. And then we take this drop shadow off of that and we just have it on here. And we can kind of massage it a little bit, but What are we thinking? Yeah, maybe that's the way. But that looks like what we have already. You know, the real problem that we need to solve here is this view, when it looks like this. That's where the issue is. Because the black text needs to be, maybe we could have like a progressive blur or something. So to the pledge bar plus more group, which floats at the bottom, add a progressive blur plus gradient, which goes from light, or goes from background color white in light mode, black in dark mode, to 0 opacity background color. This will ensure that the more text button is always visible and readable, even when there's text behind it. Okay. But let's check on what was previously done. So the customer stuff. Okay, so if the ID is present, check. Your activate now verifies. You can now retry. Okay, so let's retry. Okay, so I click on tier 1 subscription. Okay, this is progress. Yay! All right, let's test with the test card. 424242. Okay. It says success. Okay. All right. Go to my account. Okay, let's double check and make sure that that worked. Okay, that looks like it worked in Stripe. Good. Okay, so fix the text readability here. It looks like it worked in Stripe. Nice job. But now my new subscription status is not correctly reflected in the account settings, in my account settings. It still says subscribe now, as if I hadn't subscribed at all. Okay, and then let's see what else. So is it showing everybody my new status? Okay, so it also still says no subscription on my user page, despite my active subscription. Please correctly query which tier I'm on as well. What else? Okay, I'll send that. And once it knows that I'm correctly, like once it knows that I have a subscription, then we'll test the unsubscribe or cancel flows after that. And then I'll just keep cooking on this next. Like right now, I kind of want to stay focused on the payments flows Yeah, so cool. What's up? We got 6 people watching, dudes. Nobody's in the chat. Y'all gotta be yapping. Here's another fun thing that I added. Now you click this and it switches between vibe coded and made with agape. And then New York City, Earth, America keeps switching. Kind of a fun little Easter egg. Look at that X icon. Oh man, I don't even want to fix it. That's kind of just funny. X.com. Also, I didn't show this in the last stream, but look at these outline modes. So now if you go to like dark mode, I think I might have actually shown this. I don't remember. But if I could do like dark red, great for like reading at night, reading about private groups behind public groups, how sinister, so secretive. Digital town hall. So yeah, this I think looks pretty sick. It's not perfect, but it's getting there. And then even classic, somebody asked for classic where, you know, the links are just super boring, normal, which is fine. Some people like that. And I should add tracking to see like which ones people prefer, so we can set better defaults. Okay, I'll start by updating the... Yes, continue. Copilot's been working on this problem for a while. Yeah, Copilot has improved. Well, actually, no. Copilot was never the problem. It's the models. And 4.1 is really good. Dude. Check this out. I don't think it's gonna focus. Is it still going? It's done? Okay. Alright, so let's continue. Blah, blah, blah. I'll locate. Would you like me to continue? What? Oh, now it's getting slow. Okay. Got it. Bro, are y'all really telling me that this is all we got? I'm gonna need some more hype out of the chat. Because this one guy is currently dominating the whole conversation. Y'all gotta step it up. I don't know why my chat is not showing up on the screen. I think it might still be connected to what's it called? Twitch or something. Okay, so let's test that and see okay, so if I go to somebody else's page, click on it, click there, click tier 2 just to test processing, complete my subscription, and then we gotta enter our fake card. Okay. Payment successful. Good. Go to my account. But it still should... Okay, so let me just be explicit. After completing the payment flow, the subscription section of my account should reflect my current subscription amount, and it should have a cancel subscription button which should cancel the subscription after a confirmation modal. Okay. What else do we need to do? Okay. So yeah, like I said, subscriptions for now is just replacing Open Collective as a donation thing, and you just get street cred for being a donor, and everybody loves you. But in the future, it will be converted to your subscription so that you can pay writers. And hopefully GPT 4.1 can help us do that much faster. I gotta go hit the gym. But not right now. Custom amount. Okay. So it doesn't really disable it. It just doesn't really... What happens if I type in 30? So I can't go to 300 because... that's kind of clunky. How do I even solve that? What if I want to type in 200? I can't. Like, I should allow anybody to type in anything, but then like after a delay, then it validates it, and if it's below 50, it kicks it back up to 50. So, also it shouldn't have closed the modal behind. Okay. Okay, so when inputting the custom amount for my subscription, I should be able to type in any number, but then after, let's say, 300 milliseconds, okay, so any number, including numbers below 50, but since we're validating this form, automatically trigger or automatically replace numbers below 50 with 50 after a 300 millisecond delay, This will allow users to type in numbers like 200, which doesn't begin with 5, or whatever crazy logic was happening earlier. How else? So when replacing a less than 50, or yeah, x equals less than 50. When replacing a less than 50 number, flash the minimum amount is 50, input red, or it's like a label text. It's like text, disclaimer text, red, to make it obvious that it was overridden automatically. Okay, cool. Where are we at? So your account page will now show correctly. All right, so let me go here. Let's refresh everything though first. So it still doesn't remember my subscription. It still doesn't remember. But let's just try. Let's try 50. Whoa. This UX is crazy. Reactivate subscription. Error, user is not defined. Okay, so I'm just going to say it seems like the subscription page is not using the new logic we implemented from the active subscription modal. Okay, let's see what it cooks. All right. Honestly, vibe coding streams are probably boring because I get bored waiting on it to finish. But it's like a good opportunity to talk about like what's in flight, what's going on, what's coming soon. So yeah, I mean, things you can look for is like the new landing page, the new themes. What else? New subscription stuff. So, I mean, I'd like to have a release sometime this week. I'm also working with some other developers who agreed to help out with subscription stuff, but they looked at the code base and they were like, oh my God, this is madness. It's so complex. And I'm like, yeah, it's the AI gods created a monster. But, you know, as these models improve, they will be able to clean up the tech debt that the dumber ones made. So this is what bootstrapping in 2025 looks like. But yeah, if you're an investor and you want to see WeWrite succeed and you want me to stop writing slop and you want me to hire real engineers, feel free to DM me on x.com right here. But only if you're offering me no strings attached, bajillion dollars, maybe even a trillion dollars, $2 trillion. Yeah, that'll be enough. The Federal Reserve should just, they should just liquidate the whole thing and give it to WeWrite. Honestly, because WeWrite could be like the universal basic income thing. If you prove that you're human and not a bot, people can just donate to you, and we can just redistribute wealth voluntarily because everyone realizes the common humanity of everyone. And then people are like donating to. I was thinking about this, like MapView. Once MapView is up, you could have like a neighborhood. What did I call it? Neighborhood intelligence. One of our use cases. So yeah, you use like, social maps, MapView, coming soon. And the reason I think this is better than Citizens app is like Citizens app is all about posts, which means it's always an emergency. There's always something, oh my gosh. But if you have a community wiki, you can have a calm, reasoned analysis about what's going on because you just connect all the dots. A post on Citizen app, is this violent imposition of information. And you're like, okay, well, is this urgent? What's going on? Like, there's no historical narrative around it. And it's like, yeah, porn-brained, rage bait slop. It's a post on the content treadmill. So yeah, we should just start, having smarter thoughts instead of always aggressively, whatever. Social media is cursed. But yeah, that's why the Federal Reserve should, its final act against the dollar, because it's debasing our currency, they should print $300 trillion and give it to WeWrite. And then we'll do UBI and just give everybody money. Let them go buy a farm, start their business, nationalize the land, whatever. Do whatever. Put it in the hands of the people, right? It's a town hall, digital town hall. Next steps. Okay, let's test and see what it got done. Now it's worse. Look at that. Whatever. We can try the other flow too. Well, it kind of looks like only the first one went through. No, okay, both of them went through. Okay, good. Okay, oh man, I gotta keep doing this. Oh my gosh, you're gonna validate the expiration year on a fake account? This text still looks bad. It still doesn't remember my subscription. Cursor's file upload is more reliable than Augment's. On Augment, you have to click the button because the drop zone is buggy. It doesn't work. There we go. Look how fun that is. Isn't that awesome? Autism moment. Hold up. Wait. Yeah, there we go. Look how nice. So nice. Thought about getting saw like an ad for like a gear thing. It's like bringing back the whole fidget spinner thing, but it's a gear, like a bicycle gear or something. But it was like $50 on Instagram, and like an Instagram ad, and I found it on Temu for like $2. I'm like, okay, it's quite the racket. But dude, if we just open source everything, we collapse all prices. Oh my gosh, I'm giving the game away. Look at that. Post scarcity. Upon text select, we should totally have a like a create page from selection. I'm gonna write that down. Create page from selection. If the text is shorter than 20 characters, that's still long. If the text is shorter than 10 characters, make the text the title of the new page. If the text is longer than 10 characters, make the selected text the body content of the new page. The new page should not yet have a title, and the title placeholder text should say name your, or title your page, name your page, name your page. Create page. Create. What's the best like CTA text here? So if I want to call a page equilibrium, I guess it should just say create page. Page icon. That'll be dope. Because, I mean, one of the metrics obviously would be increasing page creation. So making it easier to increase page creation will make that happen more often. All right, I guess we can test this again. Let's refresh first. Okay, so I click here, I click tier 2, processing. But it should just remember like what I already had. So let me just go back and then go to my account settings. Okay, it's still... Yeah, so if anybody knows about payments integrations or whatever, hit me up. That'd be really helpful. But I gotta go hit the gym. I'm gonna send this prompt after I get the subscription stuff to a good spot. But Yeah, keep an eye out for the new trending pages stuff, the new landing page. Keep on writing pages. Again, top users is sorted by most number of pages. So if you want to create a bunch of pages, you can get to the leaderboard. Yeah. All right.